Hey everybody, Corp Cosplay here, and today we're going to talk about storing your cosplays. Hey folks, my name is Corp Cosplay. I'm a cosplayer in the Southern Ontario area. I've been cosplaying for around 10 years off and on, but really for 5 full time. Won a couple awards, I've guested at a few cons. Today we're going to talk about storing your cosplays because while there are many tutorials and videos out there about how to build certain cosplays and all these amazing giant and intricate patterns, what do you do with them after you've made them? We're going to talk all about that. So we're going to start off with my background because that is going to impact the video. Depending obviously on the type of cosplay you make, you're going to have different requirements for where you're going to store them. If you are someone who is an extreme seamstress and you have big giant ball gowns or really technical detail skin tight items, that is going to need certain things but not need other things. So I am primarily a foam and 3D printer, so obviously certain props, certain big builds, stuff like that are going to impact how I store them, but I'm going to kind of try and cover everything so we have sort of a whole spectrum of things that'll help you guys out. So the first thing we're going to talk about are totes. These are usually found in many different stores, your Walmarts, your Home Depots, Lowe's, etc. These are big giant plastic bins that you can store things in. They come in all different shapes and sizes. You can get tiny small ones, you can get giant big ones. These ones for me are a lifesaver. I picked up a whole bunch of these when I first started building some props, because I made space for my props, but then I kind of ran out of space, so I needed to store things. And I remember just going through Facebook Marketplace and just picking up any big ones that were dirt cheap. And if you're starting out cosplaying, that is my best advice. Who cares about if they all match or if there's certain things that you need? Just get big totes for your big cosplay props. When you get more into cosplay, there are more things that you probably will realize make life a little easier. The one thing that I definitely realized, especially over the past couple of years, is all these totes that I've purchased over the years, they're kind of a mishmash of sizes, mishmash of tops, which are the most important to me. If you can, I would go out, if you need a lot of them, and get the 102 liter big totes. And the reason because they are A, the biggest, and B, you can also get them with a flat top. And the reason it's good to have a flat top is you can easily stack them. Some of the ones they bring out at like Walmart and stuff for Christmas have sort of an oval, have sort of a rounded top, which you can stack, but can't stack completely the way you want. So I'm going out, I've purchased a couple, but I'm going to be going out in the next couple weeks and picking up a bunch more of these once they go on sale, because I want to easily stack these totes. I especially want to organize them so I know what is in each tote. And this is another tip for when you're making your storage bins and getting them all sorted out. They're probably not going to be clear. So once you put all of a certain item in there, say you're putting some old fabric in there and you're filling one with fabric, put all your fabric in there and then get some masking tape and tape on the front and write fabric. That way, when you're just scanning your bins, you can see what is in each bin without having to tear them all apart. Another thing that I've used is you can get a 5-6 pack, they're about this big, of about that deep and about that wide single storage bins. I have a whole bunch of those I picked up from Costco. They're clear, but they're also good for smaller cosplays, like your closet cosplays and stuff like that. At some point, probably right now as I'm talking, I will show you what my setup kind of is in my storage room. I've got all these small cosplays that I put into these small storage totes, and I will put masking tape across each one and I will write what the cosplay is. The biggest thing that I've figured out, and you guys might want to use this when you're doing it, is if there is something like, say, Gambit, for example. Gambit doesn't fit in these, but I'm using it as an example. If there's something like Gambit staff that obviously won't fit in these small totes, I put a star on those ones so I know that I can't just grab the tote and go. I need to open it up and look for all the pieces and make sure everything works. Some of my cosplays do have interchangeable pieces when it comes to jackets and stuff like that, so I make sure the ones that need extra, I have the star on it. Number 2, and this is for the seamsters and seamstresses out there, but also for cosplayers like myself, good hangers. Now, if you go and just get cheap hangers, they will work for most things, but I've got a lot of jackets and a lot of heavy coats, so I have invested in some not super heavy quality, but a good quality plastic hanger that is not going to bend under certain weight. If you can get yourself a bar and just line up all your cosplay jackets or any of your costumes, that is a great way to hold on to those fabric type cosplays. It is also good to use those for your Zentai suits, because Zentai suits, any fabric or anything like that, if you fold them up into a tote, you're probably going to make creases on them, and then when you're ready to pull them out, you will have to take some time to iron them out or steam them, and that gives you extra work. So if it's anything fabric, hanging them is your best bet. Another great place to store your cosplays, and especially your props, are storage racks. You can pick up storage racks from Home Depot, Canadian Tire, all those places, and this is a great thing to store and show off your props. It is nice to have some props in your cosplay workshop, almost as a motivation and a reminder of what you've done already. So if you ever get discouraged, you can kind of look over and go, hey, I've already built all this stuff. I can get myself through this stuff. They come in many different forms. You can get small ones that kind of, are just about yay big by about 4 or 5 feet tall. You can make your own, like the one up above me. I've sort of made a DIY one for a couple of my helmets and masks. There are tons of different ways. Again, this is more of a props and helmets and stuff like that. You can't really do a cosplay like that. It doesn't really have a lot of room, but I'm someone who has a lot, again, helmets, heads, props, etc. And these have worked pretty good so far. You kind of have to figure out which one works best for you, but you'll probably figure it out. Another type of storage that I'm using specifically for making, but you can also use it for your cosplay storage, especially for little details, are little storage racks. Little storage racks like this that you can pick up at, again, Canadian Tire, Princess Auto, and stuff like that, have little pullouts that you can easily hold. I'm using it for Dremel bits, thumbtacks, little buttons, etc. You guys can use it for cosplay because you can put all your jewelry in there. If, say, I was using Mario and Luigi a lot more, I can put all my mustaches in there and my glues and stuff like that. And again, you can label the front and say exactly what it is so you know, hey, that's where this is, that's where that is. I've seen a lot of cosplayers use this for tiny little intricate things that can easily get lost in totes. And last but not least, the one that is going to probably cost you the most, but is also pretty darn cool to have if you have the space, and that is a mannequin. If you can pick yourself up either a half body or a full body mannequin, you can display an entire cosplay and have it set up, whether you're doing it for a video shoot, something like this, or just to show off and have a display area. Mannequins are really cool. I picked up one this year for a very dirt cheap price. I was so lucky to pick one up, and it is showcasing my Ghost Rider cosplay because it's kind of the one I'm really the most impressed with and the people love the most. They are expensive. They do take up a lot of room. They are not for everybody, but if you get the opportunity, again, Facebook Marketplace, you can find people just trying to get rid of them. Stores are closing. Mine was actually from a film studio that was getting new ones, and they just said, we just don't need these anymore, so we're dropping them. I think I paid like $80 for it, when usually they go for a couple hundred. I also had an amazing cosplayer give me a new half mannequin these past couple months, and it will be used to display some more props of my own. So you can easily find them. It's just finding them for the right price, because there are some that, can get pretty pricey. Again, there are special ways. There are tutorials online of how to display a mannequin. The one that I got with, that I purchased, came with arms. I've not really figured out a way to display the mannequin properly with the arms on, so I've taken the arms off and it is just a torso and legs. But it is really cool to have. I love having it in the background. He is Stan the Mannequin, and I'm trying to bring him to any conventions that I'm guesting at, so hopefully you'll get to see him in the future. And last but not least, this is an extra. I really want to stress this because I've been burned by this many, many times. If you live in a house, you probably have a garage, and you're probably thinking, well, I will store all of my cosplays in my garage. I warn you about this. I personally have a garage not attached to my house, and it is great. I have some totes in there, more fabrics totes and stuff like that. Remember that a lot of these garages are not weatherproofed. So the weather elements, especially here in the Great White North, it gets really cold, really snowy, really gross for about half the year. And that means whatever props or whatever you've made, they are dealing with those elements out there on a continuous basis. And I've had props get, paint has chipped and broken off because it has been so cold, and I've moved them and it's just come off. I've had, unfortunately, critters get into totes and rip up some stuff. If it's stuff in there that isn't super important and you won't lose your mind if it gets damaged or destroyed, okay, but I do warn you, don't trust it that it is going to be completely 100% the exact same as if you left it in the house. So just a word of warning from someone who's already paid the price. And that's kind of it. There's probably many other ways that you can store your cosplay props and your full cosplays, but these are the ones that I use, and they've been working pretty good so far. It is kind of an evolution, and you're always trying to find ways of making your cosplay storage easier and better for yourself. And like I said, the one thing I'm going to be doing now is getting some proper big totes with a flat top so I can easily store them and easily get to them. If you like this video, click the link down below, subscribe. We are going to be doing some more of these cosplay videos, including cosplay breakdowns and some more Q&As and a whole bunch more. So keep locked to this channel, and we got a lot more coming up, and I can't wait to see what you're going to cosplay next. Take care.